Hey there, everybody. This is Kristin from Teaching Balance, and I am here with you with this week's mindfulness meditation practice. And we are now in the month of September. And when this video goes out, it will actually be Labor Day 2021. And so for this Labor Day special meditation, I thought it would be fun to explore a specific theme that aligns with our theme for the month. Now, our theme for the month is self-advocacy, which is one of my 4 elements of being in balance, and we're going to explore the various elements of that throughout the month. And for this week, or excuse me, yes, this week in celebration of Labor Day, I thought that it would be fun to talk about doing less. And so what I mean by that is essentially the following. We all, due to the nature of modern life and being a grown-up and having a job, and of course the kind of job that many of us have is usually pretty challenging and demanding, we have a lot to do. And what I am extending to you as your invitation this week is to, with real sincerity, think about what are some things that you can, at least temporarily, not do. Now, this is certainly something to reflect on anytime, but I actually think it's particularly poignant now as we are transitioning back into the new school year. And I know that at least for me, particularly that first week back, whether it's teacher work week or the first week with students, it's just quite difficult. It's that being thrown back into the deep end of the pool, and you really have to get your stamina back and all of that sort of thing. So the timing feels very appropriate. I know some of you, of course, have already been back, but if it hasn't dawned on you yet, it can be quite jarring and very draining, that transition back. And the other thing that I want to point out, especially for the folks who are not educators, who are members, it's not just about the time of year, but it's also about honoring what's going on with you internally. Obviously, no matter what your circumstances are, we all have our good days and our bad days, and our good weeks and our bad weeks, and it goes on from there. And the point I want to make is, if you're aware of the fact that you're feeling really down or exhausted, or you see where I'm going with this, that too is a really useful signal to yourself that this is an appropriate time for you to slow down and to do less. So what does that mean exactly? I know that it's unlikely that there are certain responsibilities that can just easily be, given away, or to cease feeling the obligation to do them. But the thing that I think of the most is just those extra things. For example, I vividly remember, I think it was the first week of school, and I made this plan to stop at Target on the way home. Which sounds like a very benign, not a big deal undertaking, but it was after work, and work is tiring, and I was transitioning back into it. And it could have also been not even just the first week of school, but I could have also been feeling compromised by a variety of other circumstances that I was dealing with. And it was just too much. And, it sounds, I'm smiling about it in retrospect, but there is a real learning opportunity to not overwhelming yourself. And really what that comes down to is choosing to do less. So to sum up, in celebration of Labor Day, your day off, where you are taking it easy, hopefully, and not working, I would invite you to embrace this idea of doing less, putting less pressure on yourself, taking a few things off your to-do list that aren't essential, and not really put all this emphasis on trying to be efficient or make the most of your time or any of those things. when it's a moment of transition, like back to school, and or when you just realize that you're not feeling like you're at your best, and that it might just be that thing that sets you, that last straw that breaks the camel's back. So that's my invitation to you this week. So let's go ahead and do our 10-minute meditation, which of course hopefully isn't one of the things that you decide to do less of. I'm going to set it for 10 minutes. And this settling in, this choice to take this time for yourself, these are the things that fill your bucket and sustain you and give you that sense of confidence, resilience, and strength. I just want to remind you of that. So you may have your eyes closed or your gaze lowered, sitting in a posture that exemplifies your inherent dignity. If you haven't already, let's go ahead and take some of those deep, calming and grounding breaths. If you'd like to, you can even play with holding the breath at the top of the inhale for however long it feels appropriate to you. And perhaps pausing between your exhale and the new inhalation. Again, for however long feels appropriate to you. And you know that this does have a calming quality on the body, helps the mind to settle a bit more, and it also helps you to just drop into your body. So whenever you're ready, if you haven't already, allowing your breathing to resume its natural rhythm and just feel what it feels like to be in your body right now. Feeling the support of the chair, the cushion. Noticing where your skin is exposed to the air. Observing the temperature that you can feel in the air around you. If there's a lot of air circulation, perhaps feeling that slight breeze on your skin. And if you've already found yourself resting your awareness on the breath or sounds, that's fine. Do whatever feels right to you. But for me, it just felt like it made sense to gravitate towards noticing those body sensations. Noticing where the mind is at this moment. And if it wandered into thought, remembering that's totally fine and expected. And just bringing it back to this gentle resting of your awareness on the breath or the body or sounds. And remembering that whatever thoughts you choose to pivot away from, they'll be waiting for you when we're done, so just allow yourself to come back and continue with what we're doing, which is to rest, to take a break from following our thoughts like we do all day long, and just be present to our moment-to-moment, real-life sensory experience. Each time that you notice your mind has wandered into thought, if it's helpful, you can label what kind of a thought it is, down to as granular a level as you can, like worrying about my friend. And I believe that by acknowledging that and by labeling it, it's not just this thing we're pushing away, because we don't need to do that. Instead, you're just, if anything, taking a little snapshot of it, getting a little more clarity about it, and then just shifting your awareness and attention back to the breath or the body or sounds. You don't tell yourself a story about why you might be thinking about it or continuing to fuel or follow it. You just see it very clearly, and if you'd like, label it very specifically, and then come back to this resting state, tethering yourself to that moment-to-moment observation of whatever is observable, watching the breath, feeling the body, or hearing the sounds. So let's sit in silence until our final bell. happy Labor Day. I hope you find this day to be very restful and very restorative. And going forward this week, my invitation to you is to think about and reflect on what you can do a little less of, not overextending yourself and putting too much pressure on yourself to do too much. So as always, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for allowing me to accompany you on this journey. And I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.